What's up guys, and welcome back to a new video where we will be looking at a web hosting provider that we haven't covered on this channel yet, which is Hostinger. In this video, we're going to break down the hosting services that Hostinger has to offer. Then we will look at the available packages where we will check which one suits your requirements, followed with what Hostinger offers for Laravel developers. Finally, we will end up deploying a Laravel 9 application on Hostinger using its cloud hosting. Quick pause. Are you looking for a new hosting that you want to use? Hostinger is offering a new Black Friday deal where you could get your shared hosting for only $2.49. If you decide to go with their 4-year plan, you'll even receive a free domain and SSL certification as well. On top of that, you could even use the discount code of Code with Dary, which you can find in the description down below to get an additional 10% discount on any hosting plan. The first question that I have to answer is why Hostinger? Like I've just mentioned, Hostinger is a web hosting provider, but it even adds more to that. You could set up a shared hosting, cloud hosting, VPS hosting, email hosting, and SSL certificates. But those aren't specifically the reasons why you should choose Hostinger, since there are tons of other web hosting providers available on the web offering the same services. In my opinion, Hostinger stands out because of a couple other important points, starting with their fast load time. When you choose your hosting plan, Hostinger provides you with unlimited bandwidth, which basically means that the amount of data that is being transferred is unlimited. Now, because of that, Hostinger offers a 99.99 uptime, with a load speed of 350 milliseconds on average. Hostinger also did their best to make the usage of their server as easy as possible. Whether you are a beginner or advanced cloud user, their dashboard and hosting wizard makes you feel comfortable very fast. Something that has been bothering me for a while is whenever I need to get my domain from another company than where I'm hosting my website. Isn't it better to have everything at the same place? Well, Hostinger offers that. You get your domain and cloud hosting at the same place. When it comes to cloud hosting, it is good practice to choose a data center which is close to the country your website will operate on, since the server location can affect your site performance. If you have an e-commerce running where your target audience is located in the USA, you want to pick a data center which is located close to the USA for optimal performance. Hostinger offers data centers on almost every continent in the world, since they have a data center in the USA, UK, Brazil, Singapore, Lithuania, India, and even in the Netherlands. An interesting fact about the servers is that they are scalable, which is very important when it comes to cloud hosting, since you can scale up and down based on the demands that you need. Even though PHP 8 has been out for a while, not all cloud providers do actually support it yet. Hostinger does, which is a huge benefit since websites perform 10% better than previous versions. In case your project is still running on a lower PHP version, it will all be fine with Hostinger since it will be available as well. Now, what does it offer for Laravel developers? Most of my dedicated viewers know that my channel has been built around Laravel, and we could sit here and test out Hostinger for WordPress or website builders, but I do actually want to have a look at what it offers for Laravel developers, and most importantly, cloud servers. Since I'm not a huge fan of using shared hosting for Laravel projects, using shared hosting will be a lot cheaper when it comes to hosting your site, but you also got to keep in mind that always choosing the cheapest option isn't the best option, especially when working on client projects. Why use shared hosting when the client could pay for private hosting? At the moment, I'm located on the official website of Hostinger, which is hostinger.com. And whenever you want to have a look at the different cloud packages it offers, you need to click on the hosting dropdown in the top menu, where you have an option to choose cloud hosting. Let's click on it. If we scroll down, you'll see that we can choose between 3 packages. At the moment, it's November, so Hostinger is offering a ton of discount. And on top of that, you could even use the discount code of Code with Dary to get an additional 10% discount. Now right here, you will find tons of features every hosting package offers, and most of them are equal for every package. There are a couple features that change based on the price, which is the SSD, the RAM, and the CPU cores. This really depends on the storage you need. If you have heavy sites which has tons of visitors, choosing the Cloud Startup isn't the best option. Then either choosing a Cloud Professional or Cloud Enterprise might be the right one. In this video, we're going to set up a simple Laravel block, so we don't necessarily need the most expensive package. So what I want to do is to choose the most popular one, which is Cloud Professional. So let's select it and let's set up our account together. Right here, you will see that we have the option to choose a cloud package based on a period. You could either choose to pay for a month right here, which makes the price more expensive since it will be $49.99. But you could also get your cloud hosting for 12 months, which changes the price to $14.99. And it also includes a free domain for the first year. And whenever you're working with other cloud providers, you do need to get your domain separately and pay an extra price for it, which in most cases lays around the price tag of $2.99. So that's basically included in the price right here. Now the same features are added if you choose a 24-month package, but the renewal price right here will be $42.99. Finally, you could choose a cloud hosting for 48 months where the price is exactly the same, but the renewal price after 48 months will be $39.99. Now the package that you're going to choose right here really depends on the package you need. Keep in mind that once you find clients that want to pay for cloud hosting, you could charge them for it as well. For now, we're going to choose the 12-month deal right here. And if we scroll down, you'll see the second step where we need to create our account. So let's add our email right here. And if we scroll more down, you'll see that for step number 2, we need to select the payment method. So let's just say credit card. And to the right, you'll find an overview of the product we're going to purchase. We're going to purchase Cloud Professional for 12 months. It has a price of $180. It includes a domain name, a daily backup, which is billed every year. It has a discount of 70%. And it even allows you to add a coupon code. So like I've said before, I have a discount code. So let's add it right here, named code with Dary. Let's apply it. And right under the total price, you'll see that a discount of 10% has been applied. And you will have received a discount of $18. For now, add your payment credentials right here, and I'll see you back once you have created your account on the Hostinger dashboard. Once you have set up your account, you will most likely be redirected to this page, where you could create or migrate your website. We're not going to migrate your website in this example, but we're going to create a new site. So let's select it. Right here, it's giving us an option to choose a website that is using a website builder or WordPress. These options are awesome when you're a non-developer. We simply want to build our own Laravel website, which can be done by choosing the other option. So let's select it, which will then open a new pop-up where we can search for an application. So let's say that we want to search for, well, I already see the option, Laravel. Now, we do need to confirm it, so let's say select. Alright, we do need to confirm it with our email and password. So let me add my password real quick, and let's click on continue. Right now, we get to make sure that we claim our domain so our website doesn't get a weird URL, where we then need to add our DNS on our domain to connect with. We can simply select our free domain right here. So we need to enter the desired domain name. So basically the domain name that we want to use. So let's say that for this example, I want to create a new domain named code with Dary-blog. Now I don't want it to be a .eu, but .com. Alright, let's see if it's available. Right here, you'll see that Hostinger prompted us with a message saying that the domain is available. So let's continue. And this is pretty interesting right here. Hostinger will choose a server based on our location. As you can see, it's choosing the Netherlands, which is located in Europe. So once you agree with your server location, domain name, the installed CMS and the admin email, you're ready to finish your setup. So let's click on it. If you're not using a domain on Hostinger, you do need to add your new profile. I have done that before, so I'm ready to finish my registration. Also, keep in mind that the registration part takes a couple minutes. So I'll cut out the part where it's setting up our CMS. Alright, I've just exited full screen mode, and I got to admit that the interface of the control panel looks very nice. And since the video is a bit long already, I want to dive into setting up our Laravel project. Every Laravel developer knows that Laravel 9 is running on PHP 8, and we do need to set up our database as well. By default, cloud servers and Hostinger are set to PHP 7.4, and I think that this has to do with content management systems, which most of them are still running on PHP 7.4. So let's start off by changing our PHP version. Inside the left sidebar, you'll find an option named Advanced. If we open it, you'll find an option inside of it named PHP Configuration. So let's click on it. As you can see right here, the version has been set to 7.4. So let's change it to 8.0, which is needed when you want to work with Laravel 9 projects. We do need to update it, so let's click on update in the bottom right. Let's confirm it. And just like that, our PHP version has been upgraded to 8.0. Next up is creating our database. Inside the left menu, you'll see an option named Databases, right above Advanced. Let's click on it. And right here, you'll find a sub-option named MySQL Databases. Let's open it. We need to create our MySQL credentials, which we will add inside the .env file to make sure that we can connect to our database. So let's name our database Laravel blog. Let's give it a username of Dary. And let me add a secret password, which you will see in a bit. We won't need our credentials right now, so let's create our database. So let's start out by deploying our project through Git first, since we need to create our .env file after it. Now right under the sidebar, under Advanced, you'll find an option named Git. Let's click on it. Now the easiest way of adding your project to cloud hosting is simply through an SSH key, which you then need to add to your GitHub repository. By doing that, Hostinger is able to connect to our project repository. So let's generate a new SSH key, which we then can copy. And the reason why I exited full screen is because I have my GitHub project repository open inside a new tab, where we need to add our SSH key. This can be done right inside of the Setting tab, where you then inside the left sidebar find an option named Deploy Keys. If we click on it, you'll find a section of your project where you can add your keys. So in the top right corner, you'll find an option Add Deploy Key. Let's click on it. We need to name it, so let's name it Hostinger Key, where we then inside the text area of our key need to paste our SSH key that we just copied. Now there's also an option where we can allow write access, which is not needed, so let's not check that. Let's click on Add Key. Right inside our deployment keys, you'll see that our Hostinger key has been added successfully. Since we're going to deploy our project through SSH, we need to make sure that we copy our SSH URL from the GitHub overview. This can be done by clicking on Code, click on the Call to Action button, which is green, copy the SSH key that we have right here, and if we then open our control panel for a moment, open the Advanced tab, which is already open, and click on the option SSH Access right here, you'll find the SSH details on how you could deploy your project to the SSH key we just added to our GitHub repository through the URL we just copied from the dashboard. Now the first thing that we need to do is making sure that we change the password, because we need it when we perform an SSH request. So let's add a new password right here. Let's change it. All right. Now there might be a chance where your SSH status has been set to disabled. So pretty much like this. When it does, simply click on enable to enable your SSH access. Now SSH needs to be used inside the CLI. So what we could do is right inside of the log into SSH section, copy this piece of code that we have. What we then can do is navigate to the CLI, paste it, and hit enter. In most cases, it will ask you to add a fingerprint. If it does, just say yes. And then you need to add your password, which will be secret in my case. We have been redirected to our project directory. And whenever you want to deploy any type of project, you always need to be located inside a public_HTML directory. If we perform an ls right here, you'll see that we have, obviously, a public_HTML directory. So let's change directories right into it. What we could do then right here is simply say git clone. Well, I actually need to go back to Google and open my GitHub repository, copy the SSH one more time, paste it right here. And we're not done yet, because we do need to add a punctuation mark right here to not include the directory itself, but simply adding all files inside of it, inside our public_HTML directory. If we hit enter right here, you'll see that it's cloning the project. From here, all steps should be self-explanatory for Laravel developers, since the following steps need to be performed on localhost as well. First, we need to make sure that we run a composer update. Let's hit enter. This might take a while, so I'll probably cut this part out and I'll see you back once it's done. Alright, my GitHub repository has an .env.example file inside of it, and yours most likely has one too. What we need to do is copying the file and renaming it to .env. Now we don't need to do this manually, since we can simply say cp the .env.example file to a .env file. Now within our .env file, we just need to change a couple environment variables. So let's say nano.env, since we need to change our database credentials right here. Let's start off with the database name. One moment. Alright. So let's navigate back to the browser and let's open our control panel. Let's click on databases and let's open our MySQL databases. And right under the list of current MySQL databases and users, you'll find our MySQL database name and our MySQL user. So let's copy the database name, navigate back to iTerm, paste it as the value of our db_database environment variable. Let's do the same thing for our MySQL user. And let's also add our secret password, which will be test1234 ! For me. Now let's save the file by saying Ctrl X. Let's perform a Y to save the file. The next step is setting up our app_key environment variable, which can be done by manually performing the php artisan key::generate command. As you can see, Artisan prompted us with a message saying that our application key has been set successfully. Now, since we have set up our database credentials, we're ready to migrate our table by saying php artisan migrate. I've also added a couple of factories inside my project to double check whether my credentials are working correctly or not. So let's run that by saying php artisan db::seed. If we hit enter, you'll see that Artisan prompted us with a message saying that seeding of our database has been done successfully. And if we navigate back to the browser, scroll up inside our control panel, you'll see our website name of codewithdary-blog.com. So let's open a new tab and let's write down the URI of codewithdary-blog.com. Hit enter. You will see that we have been prompted with a 403. And this is happening because Hostinger doesn't really understand our project structure. And we can change that by creating a new hidden file named htaccess inside our public_HTML subdirectory. So let's navigate back to iTerm. Let's nano a .htaccess file. And I'll add this piece of code right here as a comment since it's very easy to make mistakes. So just follow along or copy it from the comment. Let's say less than the if module mod_rewrite.c greater than. On the line below, we're going to hit a tab and we're going to set the rewrite engine on. On the line below, we're going to set the rewrite rule equal to a caret, opening parenthesis, dot asterisk, closing parenthesis, $, space, public /$1, space, opening bracket, capital L, closing bracket. And then on the line below, we're going to close off our if module by saying less than / if module greater than. Now let's press Ctrl X to save the file. We should be set right now. Let's navigate back to Google Chrome. Let's refresh our page. And as you can see, we have deployed our Laravel project through Hostinger, it's cloud hosting, and it has been added right under the domain we created ourselves, and it has also included the SSL. Now I got to say that I really enjoy deploying a project through Hostinger, especially the fact that behind the scenes, it adds your domain name to your project. With most cloud providers, you have to buy your domain name somewhere else and connect it with your cloud through a DNS. Just not dealing with all those steps is really a time saver, and it also allows you to have your domain and hosting at one single location, which is a huge win in my opinion. If I could change or simply add something to Hostinger, it is probably making webhooks a little bit easier. The reason why we added our git clone command inside the CLI is because of the lack of ease of setting up webhooks, since a composer update needs to be performed. Now leave a comment down below of your experience when deploying a Laravel project through Hostinger. Also, let me know what you would like to see different in case you didn't enjoy a step when deploying your project. This was it for this video. Once again, don't forget to use my discount code of Code with Dary when you're going to subscribe to a plan of Hostinger, where you will get a 10% discount on any hosting plan. If you do like my content and you want to see more, leave this video a thumbs up. And if you're new to this channel, please hit that subscribe button.